There we go. So Siddharth, I think you're muted. So if you want to take part, you might want to unmute yourself and then just answer any questions as they come up. Okay, so let me start the presentation. Let me scroll down to the next screen. So idioms and things. Let's scroll down. Remember this? So this goes back to last week. So Michael, we've got a big advantage as this next question. So, so guys, can you describe some of the things in this photo? So Christina or Sadat, what do you see here? So this is a bit of a test of your English. You probably know immediately some of these things. What's in this photo?
Honey,
Honey?
Oh, I heard someone say honey. Who said it first?
I don't know.
It was both the ladies. I'll give it to both of you. You seem to say exactly the same time, pretty much. Honey, yes, that's the big thing, isn't it? It's probably half the picture, is it? Pretty much, isn't it? But can you give a bit more detail with the photo? So there's other things in the photo besides honey. What else is there? So it's okay, Michael, you can say something too. I mean, don't feel you have to leave yourself out completely.
and jar.
A jar. Okay, yeah, this is like a glass jar, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jar, say Jar. So who is that? Who said that? Was that Sadat?
Yeah?
Yes. Is that Sadat or Krishna who said that just then?
Christina.
Okay, I can't tell you, see. So what's the little creature here then, where my cursor is circling it? What's that?
Bee?
And who said that? You have to say your name each time you say it. So who is it? Who said it? Don't be embarrassed.
Say that.
So who said B then? Come on.
Say that.
Sadat. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so Michael, you might know. I'm sure you know what this thing here is. So this little honey stick is dripping honey onto this thing here. What is this thing where my cursor is? What is that?
Cake. No.
Cake. Did someone say cake?
Say
Like honey
that.
cake? It could be, I suppose. For bees, it might be honey cake, but for humans, it isn't. No. So do you want to put us out of our misery, Michael? What is this thing here?
I don't remember. It's honeycomb. Honeycomb.
Yes. Yeah, that's it. So this is honeycomb. Honeycomb. So bees make honey, this juice in here, this liquid, and they make this honeycomb, this structure, and they store the honey in it. And sometimes they also put little baby bees in there as well, little baby bees, little things. Okay, and these flowers then, Michael, remember last week about the flowers? So anyone knows what these flowers are? This is
Daisy.
ah,
We had argument between
yeah.
Daisy and Kama, Kamamila.
Yes.
Kamamila.
So I think we're both right. Yeah. So sort of something like chamomile. I think we'd say chamomile. Maybe not. We would say this is of the chamomile family. Maybe I'm not a great plant grower, but sort of daisies and chamomiles are basically the same thing. Pretty much the same thing. But most people would say, "Oh, that's a daisy." They wouldn't. I don't think I've had anyone say that's chamomile. But as
I'm
you,
not sure. I'm not sure, but I think chamomile. It's originally from Latin, and it's more maybe uh, common using in medicine.
yeah,
I
yes.
think.
So yeah, that's exactly it. It says yeah. So that I can see Latin here. So Latin over there, my cursor is spot on. But basically look like daisies. But if you notice, they're on very long stems. So
Yeah,
we might call them marguerites as well. I think when they're on very long stems like that, we might call them marguerites as well. I'm not a great plant grower in this country, so in this country, in another country I am. No, no. So when they're very small, we tend to think of them as daisies, and maybe when they're bigger, we might call them marguerites. Very tall. They're like very tall daisies. But it's fascinating. There are so many names for the same thing, basically. So back to the quiz. Okay. Yeah, so well done. That's very, very good. So honey, a glass jar, or just a jar perhaps. This thing here is honeycomb. And so these little holes here, they're hexagons. They've got six sides, and it looks very sort of uniform with these little hexagons here. And so this is a bee, and this little flower again is the daisy. So let's go on again then to the next page. I don't know what's on the next page. So let's see it. Oh, here we go. So it says, explain this phrase. Yeah, this is sort of a phrase. It's more like I said phrase. This is more like a noun, really. So can anyone explain what zero tolerance means? Sometimes you hear on the news, on the radio, zero tolerance. What does it mean? Any idea, guys?
I can try if
Yes, Michael, go for it. Yes.
ladies
Permit?
wouldn't like
If not
answer.
sure, okay. Go for it,
I
Michael. Yes.
Their tolerance, in my mind, it's when mm, you can bear something. Uh,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
you haven't patience
Mm,
about something. So uh, tolerant and zero tolerance, no tolerance. I think
yes. Yeah, yes, that's sort of right in a
you
way.
can bear. Yeah.
Yes. So maybe you might say pain. I have a very low tolerance for pain, you might say. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's one way of looking at it. But
No,
often, yeah, go
I
on.
mean tolerance. We also use
Mm,
uh, I don't know word tolerance when we mm, talking about different people. For example, I don't like these people, but I am tolerate. I
yes.
don't know
Yes.
for,
That's
for him,
yes.
and uh, I don't fight with him. I try to be humble, try to be
Yes.
nice to him, for example.
That sounds very good. Yes, so it sounds like you're trying to be tolerant. So if you take off the C and the E and put a T there, that's then the word tolerant. And so I try to be tolerant to people. If they're a bit loud or a bit annoying, I try to be tolerant. So you try to put up with them. You don't get annoyed or unhappy about it. You just sort of ignore it somehow. You're tolerant. That's right. Yes, that's a good way of thinking about it. It's not quite the way these two words together get used. A lot of the time when people say zero tolerance, they mean something else. So Krishna or Sadat, do you think you have an idea?
I think that means no mistake.
Ah, yeah, that's getting closer. Yes, yes. So who was that? Is that Sadat or
Yeah.
Krishna? Sorry, Sadat.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so yeah, I think I'll give you a point for that one. I can't quite give you a point for that, Michael. You sort of got half a point maybe because you've explained the word tolerant or tolerance. So Sadat or even Christina or Michael, can you put this zero tolerance or this phrase or this noun into a sentence where it makes sense?
I can try.
Is that Christina? Yes, go for it, Christina.
The school has zero tolerance for weapons or drugs.
For weapons and drugs. That's right, yes. So the school has zero tolerance for weapons and drugs. Yes,
Yeah.
that's a very good thing to say, isn't it? That's very, very good. Well done. So I'll give you, I think, 2 points for that because it was such a good sentence. It's okay to search on the internet to get your answers. Make it sound like it's coming out of your own mouth rather than just reading it from the screen, though. So let's scroll on to the next screen. I think it gives another example here. So that's right. So it says, make up a sentence using this phrase. It's more of a noun, really. Zero tolerance is probably a noun, I would say. And here we go. So I've come up with another sentence here. It says, I'm your boss, and I have zero tolerance for staff starting work late. Yeah, your boss might say something like that, mightn't they? So it's a way to get you to start work on time. And sometimes the police say they have zero tolerance for something. They might say they have zero tolerance for people speeding in their cars or something like that. And it's sort of when there's not exactly a rule, but when when a person or an organization doesn't allow something, that's when you can use this. That's this idea of zero tolerance. Some sort of organization doesn't allow something or other, which they then go to state. That's what it means, zero tolerance. So let's roll on there. What's the next one? I don't know till it comes up. Oh, okay. Yeah, who is the singer? So I've clicked on this link just before we started, and I've got the video of this singer singing, and I'll start it in a second. So you've got to call out when you realize, or when you've worked out who the singer is. So it's two names, a first name and a surname. So you've got to get two names, not just one, but two names. I might give you half a point or something if you get half one of the names. So, and maybe even say a little bit about them. So here we go. Let me click on it. Oops, that wasn't so good, was it? I've given the answer away there.
We see. We saw. We
Yeah, so
see.
look away.
You should say, close the eyes.
Close your eyes, everybody. Whoops. There we go. So who is the singer, or who was the singer?
Amy Winehouse.
Yes, that was it. That's it. So is that Christina?
Yeah.
Okay, well done. But then again, I guess the words did come up on the screen at one point, down the bottom, didn't they? I've closed the window actually, so you can't see it now. So let's go to the next slide. Angel singing Back to Black. What's the next one say? Ah, yes. Okay, so this came at about 1 minute. So this is a still from the video we've just seen. And you can see that's her lip. And below, this is her tongue sticking out. So what English sound is she making at this point?
Se.
True.
I've got to give that to you, Michael, actually. Well done. You're going to get 6 points for that. That was brilliant. So Michael said through, and that's exactly the word she is saying at this point, through. Well done. That's fantastic. So if I go down to the next slide, I think it says it's got the words. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so you can see Amy Winehouse down here. So it says, from all that we went through. So this is what I was saying about the TH. So when there's a TH in English, you can really stick your tongue out to get to get the TH sound. But I don't know if that's what you're doing, Sadat, with your TH when you say TH. That's what I was kind of getting at, you see. Admittedly, she's overdoing it a little bit. And also when you're singing, perhaps I should say maybe it's her singing teacher has had her really overdo to get the full feel of the through. But actually, I think what she sings out is something more like throw. She sings more like the word throw, but it's very similar to throw and through, you could say. So when you ever use, so could you say the word through, maybe, both of you? Say Christina and maybe Sadat. I know Michael's pretty good at the THs. So Christina, could you perhaps do the through? So the word
True.
through.
through.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So this is the word here, through, isn't it? So that's pretty good. So you think, is that normal for you to say it that way, Christina? Is it? Is that normal for you? Do you struggle saying THs or not really? Chris,
No, no.
good, well done. Sadat, how about you? Could you say through for us to hear that word said?
Through,
Oh, it didn't
through,
sound quite. So take the example of Amy Winehouse. So see how much you're sticking your tongue out. So to get the TH sound, you basically do put your tongue out just a little bit. She's probably doing it a little bit too much. So just the tip of your tongue, really, and just blow along the top of your tongue, along the top of your tongue. You use your tongue like a little tunnel to blow air through it. And the idea is the air hits the back of your teeth, the top of your back teeth. And that gives you sort of this sound. Hopefully I'll just do it now, maybe. So through,
through,
through. Yeah, Sadat, once again. Sadat.
through,
Yeah,
through.
that's getting there. That's getting there. You're definitely starting. I can hear the TH and the R. That's it. It wants a bit more practice, but that's one of the things. And so here is someone doing the TH sound. So let's scroll on then. Whoops, that's the
So
next page.
for my name, I say that.
Well, no, if it's your name, you say your name the way you want it said. But when an English person sees it, they will want to say dath, dath. They'll
Okay.
put that like they want to put like a th sound on the end. Um, yeah. So I think that's sort of that sound in the Spanish have it a little bit, don't they? And I think the Arabics is in the Arabic language. The th. Do you speak Arabic at all? If you speak Arabic, they should have that, but I guess you don't speak Arabic. So let's scroll on then. So if you have any questions, do ask. Oh, there's a blank screen there. Let's go on to the next one. Maybe it's the end of the quiz. I don't know. Oh, now we're getting on to idioms and phrasal verbs. Okay, so whatever this is happening next, have a look. Oh, here we go. So these are some idioms or phrasal verbs with the word die in them. So D-I-E. So when you stop living, you die. That's basically one of the meanings of die, isn't it? So the top one is old habits die hard. Does that make sense to you guys? Old habits die hard. Do you think you know what that means? What does it mean? Old habits die hard. So it's okay to say an answer. So call out, have a guess if you want to. Or maybe guess any of them. If you know
Okay,
any of them.
I can start. Old habits die hard. It's
Hmm.
meaning that if you do something many times,
Hmm.
it's very hard to forget, for
Yes.
example.
That's it,
Yes.
yeah. That's sort of the idea, isn't it? So do you have an example? What might be an example of that? Do you have an example in mind, Michael, of a habit that,
Uh,
that takes
for example, the drive bicycle,
driving
ride
a
the
bicycle? Okay.
ride
Okay.
bicycle. It's if you're riding, it's hard to.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give you a mark for that. Yes.
It's
Well
not
done.
it's not good. It's not a good example.
Yeah, but it's an example.
It's not a good example, but
So, okay, so I'll give you a point for that. So another example might be, say, scrolling on your phone. That can become a habit that you just do it when you have a spare 5 or 10 minutes when you're not doing anything. And to get out of that habit can be very hard, very difficult. And so that's an example of an old habit or habits that die hard. So it's very hard to kill them off. Some habits are very hard to kill off. So it's like vaping or perhaps smoking. That's very hard to kill off that habit. So that'd be perfect for old habits die hard. Does that make sense, everyone? Christina and
Yes,
Sedat.
but
Yeah.
is it idioms we use only with negative connotation? Because I understand, I
Really?
understand. No, it's my question.
Oh,
Is it is it is it idioms we use with negative connotation? Like negative, I mean smoking or vaping or doom
vaping. Yeah.
scrolling. Because in my mind, some good habits, for example, when you
Mm.
uh,
This particular sort of idiom, I think it's not really quite an idiom. I would have this more as a saying, perhaps. But I mean, what it's called doesn't really matter in a way. We're trying to understand what's the idea behind it. But no, it could be a good habit. Whoops. But really, it's about bad habits because I think it's the normally it's about bad habits. I don't really hear anyone ever saying, but because you're not really trying to get rid of a good habit, are you? And this is really about getting rid of a bad habit. If you're getting rid of a good habit, there's something wrong going on. We're trying to get good habits, really, I would say. So, yeah, in a sense, this is always about bad habits, you could say. Perhaps driving too fast. Perhaps you or your partner drives their car just too fast. They like speed and they can't get out of the habit of it. They love it too much. So you could also say die hard is a sort of a saying in itself. You could even call that those two words together. You could even say they're a noun. If you probably put a hyphen in the middle, you could say that as a noun because you could call a person a die hard. So you might say, I might be a die hard for some particular thing that I really think's important or I really love or I think that everyone should be doing. So I could really believe in something, and you might call me or that person a diehard. So in other words, they don't die easily on this subject. They really believe in it. Okay, so diehard in itself is a sort of a phrase or a noun, you could say. I think they have it as a. I think even America, they even take out the space, and it's one word. Die hard, one word, no gap there. They don't even use a hyphen in America. I think they do anyway. So any of these other ones that you understand or you think you have an idea what they might mean. So we've done the first one. I'll read all of them to you. So any of them you think you understand, just call out. So to die for, what does that mean?
For
Or
shopping.
Mm.
yes. Yeah, I've heard ladies use this one for shopping. So can you put this into a sentence then? Is that Christina or Sedath? No, Christina, wasn't it?
Say that.
Sedath. Oh, okay. Can you put that into a into a sentence then? This one here then, Sedath. So put other words around it so that it makes sense. Can you put it into a sentence?
But to die for shopping.
And just you just put shopping on the end of it. I might say I had a girlfriend once and she was always talking about some shoes that she went in that she would really would she so loved them she would die for them. So I've sort of changed a little bit there, but I said die for them. So you could say those chocolates were to die for. They were so lovely. So it's sort of saying you would be prepared to die to get that thing or to taste that thing or to have that thing.
is
That's the idea.
is it correct? I'm dying for video games. Is it
I
correct?
can understand what you're saying, but it's sort of the same thing, but not quite the same. Yeah. You, you might say, I'm dying to play a video game. That makes a bit more sense. That's D-Y-I-N-G. D-Y-I-N-G. I'm dying. Yeah, I certain there's certain video games I really, really like. They're fantastic. So they're so cleverly made, they're addictive. And so I might say, I'm dying to play that game Again, I might say that perhaps. Okay, so I'm dying. Yeah, so yeah, that idea is pretty much there. That's true. That's true, I guess. I'm trying to get this to disappear now. Yeah. So, but I often hear ladies saying that, oh, they were shoes to die for. How about that one? They look so fantastic on my feet. They were shoes to die for, something like that, or a handbag to die for. So about this other one. So the die is cast. So what does that one mean? The other one is so die with your boots on. Well, that's a funny one, isn't it? Straight as a die. So these last three then, what do they mean? Anyone have a guess? It's okay to guess and have fun, I don't mind. So the die is cast.
Decision has been made and it cannot be changed.
Is that Siddharth? So which one is that? I didn't quite understand.
This phrase means a decision has been made and it cannot
Ah,
be changed.
yes, that's it. That's right. That's the die is cast. So well done, Siddharth. That's a very good explanation of that. Yes. Um, um, so I think I'm right in saying this is really, really old. I think this is like thousands of years old. Let's say a couple of thousand years old, this one. So the chances are that it's in French, might even be in German, Italians. It's definitely in Italian, could be in Spanish. Lots of different European languages will have this, and perhaps even other languages too. So, okay, well done. That's very good. So what about this? Okay, other ones then. So die with your boots on. So this when it says boots, it really does mean your shoes, your footwear. It really does mean that. So die with your shoes on, or boots on, I should say. And straight as a die, which sounds crazy, doesn't it? What do these last two mean? Any guesses? Just guesses if you're not sure. We'll
The
look it up.
last straight as a die or straight a die.
Straight. Oh yeah, you're right. It should be as. The word as is missing out of there. You're right, actually. Well done, Michael. Yeah, straight as a die. Yes. So as should be here. Now, it's missing. I've
Uh,
missed it out personally. I guess I typed it up too quickly, I suppose. So
compare.
straight as a die.
I think I have a guess about last
Yeah.
straight
Okay.
as a die. Maybe it's something very obviously understanding, very obvious. Oh, it's straight as a die.
Ah, it's obvious. That's interesting.
I don't know. I have a clue. Oh, I have a
And I
guess.
guess half an
Yes.
idea. Sometimes you get a feeling about something and you don't know quite where it's come from, but it's you think it might be right. Yeah, I know what you're saying. I've gone too far. I keep clicking on it. So straight as a die, what it really means isn't quite that, I'm sorry to say. Nor often you'd say someone is as straight as a die. Miss out the ASS there. That really means that they're sort of very honest. It's a very honest person, or something is as straight as a die. So again, it sort of means very honest. But also another other meaning means that it is basically it's a way of emphasizing that something is straight. So it's not bent. So it's a straight line. Does that make sense? If you've got a ruler and you draw a pen against the edge of a ruler, you're making a straight line. That's a way of saying, emphasizing that it's straight. Straight as a die is a way of emphasizing that it is a line without any bends in it. It's a straight line. How about the last one then? Die with your boots on. Have you ever heard that used or on the TV? Ever heard it used or in a film on Netflix or anything? What does that mean?
Maybe it's unpredictable death about someone.
Oh, yeah, there's an idea of that. Yeah, you're not far off actually in a way. Yes.
Someone unexpected death or very very quick.
Yeah, it's sort of in the right area, but just not close enough. I get 1 point for that anyway. That's good. Anyone else want to have a guess? We'll try to get a little bit more closer, a little closer, I should say.
It often to someone who stays brave or busy until the very end.
Yes, I think you've got the idea. That's Sadat, isn't it? Sadat. Okay. I keep saying Sadat.
It's Christina. It's Christina. It was Christina.
Oh, is it Christina?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Okay. I gave the points to the wrong person there. Oh dear. Must keep the score accurate here. Okay. Yeah, that's it. So I hope everyone heard that. So what Christina was saying was it's normally refers to a person, as you might have guessed, and it's really saying that this person worked all the time and they died not in hospital, but while they were still working. It might actually be that they died when they were at work, but it might just simply mean they died before they retired, you could say. They didn't retire. They're the sort of person probably who didn't want to retire and rest as they got older. They wanted to just keep working. So sometimes people want to die with their boots on. They want to keep busy all the time. But sometimes in old Western movies, old cowboy movies, a cowboy would say, "I want to die with my boots on." I don't quite know what they mean, but I think they want to mean want to die fully dressed and with respect. But I don't quite know what they mean by that. So I should admit that I don't know what they mean. We could search it, I suppose. So well done, everybody. You got them all. Well done. Let's scroll on to the next one. We've seen it already once. Oh, here we go. So it says, which is correct? So one of these is wrong, and one of these sayings, I suppose this actually probably is an idiom. I say this is an idiom, really. So one of these sayings or idioms is correct and one isn't. So which is the correct one? So Michael, which do you think is the right one? Top.
I think definitely the first. Too big for your boots. I don't know.
Oh, you think that's the right one? Okay. So Christina, which do you think is the right one out of these two? You think the bottom one's the right one, Christina, or the top one's the right one?
Top.
You think the top one's the right one, Christina? Okay. And Sadat, which is the correct one? So one of these is often used, and one I've just made up. Which is the one that I made up? Which is the correct one? Which is the correct one then, Sadat? Do you think? Top or bottom?
The two is correctly.
I didn't catch that. Which one?
Two.
But what about it? Is that the correct one you're saying?
A first and a second.
I can't quite understand what you're getting at. So one of these is correct, but you seem to say first and second. So is the
Yes.
first one right or is the second one right? Which is right?
A first and a second.
First and second.
No, you should choose one. One correct.
Ow! I don't
One's
know.
wrong, one's right. Which is the right one?
I don't
One's
know.
wrong. Sorry?
I don't know.
Oh, that's okay. So, okay, so I'll scroll on then. I think the answer's the next page. There we go. Yeah, so this is the one I just made up. I made it up this afternoon. I've never heard this one, but I hear this other one all the time. So, Michael, Christina, you had it spot on. Well done. But so, you guys, what does it mean? What does this? I think this probably is an idiom. What does this idiom mean?
I think it's something uh, you can do something. It's too big for you. You can't
Ah,
do this. You can swallow it.
okay.
It's
It's too big
big
a job for you, almost.
job or some deal. Yes, for you. It's you can't. It's mm, maybe it's related to you can
Hmm.
too small to, for example,
Yeah,
do this deal
that's
or
interesting.
do this job. Too big for your boots. Boots, it's like interpretation of your of of
Personality or your
personality. Yeah,
character or
too big
your abilities, perhaps even.
abilities. Yeah.
I'm going to have to say a big fat no. Although it's not a million miles out, but it's in the wrong direction. So if you say to someone, you are you you are too big for your boots, or you are getting too big for your boots, you're sort of saying they're getting a bit too proud. They're getting beyond their abilities. It's the other way, actually. Oh, sorry, I should have given Christina a chance to explain it. So, Christina, do you want to put that in a sentence then? Because you had the right answer. So, and I've sort of given you the answer now as well. So you were sort of right, Michael, but in the wrong direction, if that makes sense. So, Christina, can you put that into a sentence, do you think?
Um, don't get too big for your boots, young man.
Yeah, yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, that's really, really good. Well done. That's it. Yeah, don't get too big for your boots. You could say it that way. And so that's sort of advice in a way, in a sense, isn't it? But you could say it the other way around and say, you are too big for your boots. And so you're warning them that they're getting a bit too proud or too arrogant or something. So I think there's one more to, no, there's a couple more to go, isn't there? Think about it. So I've got another idiom though, idiom. So let's have a look at this one. Oh, it's another one. So it is one of these is a one that gets used all the time, and one of these is sort of I made it up this afternoon. So which one did I make up? Did I make up this one or did I make up this one? Which is the real idiom that has existed for, I don't know, 100 years or something?
In my
So,
mind,
Sadat, can we start with Sadat this time? Is that okay? Sorry, Michael. Sorry.
okay.
Because you started last time, so maybe we'll start the other with Sadat this time. That's okay. So, Sadat, which do
The
you think is the
first,
correct one? Oh, the first one, the top one is the correct one.
yes.
Okay, okay. So, Christina, which do you think is the correct one? Which really is a real idiom or saying?
Yes.
S the second one, success one, is the
Second. Yeah, second.
okay. Okay.
Ah, yes,
So,
the second.
oh, you've changed your mind, Sadat, have you? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, Michael, which do you think is the
Yeah,
correct?
I agree with ladies. I think victim of its own success is correct.
Let's scroll on to the next screen. Yes. Yes, you're correct. All of you are correct. Well done. So I made up this top one. Victim of its own failure. And victim of its own success is the correct one. Well done. So you all got some points for that. So someone want to put this into a sentence to use it in a way that it might actually be used? Victim of its own success. Can you think of an example and use it?
The product is a victim of its own success.
Yes. Yes, that's it. Yeah, that sounds like a good possibility. Yeah, that's right. So can you explain it a little bit, what it means then, this sort of saying? So I'll give you some points for that. Well done. Can you explain it a little bit, Laura? Can you fill that out with a few more words to explain it a little bit more? Or maybe someone else can jump in if you want to. Or you carry on if you want, Siddharth. Siddharth. So we were reading a story, I think it was yesterday. Yeah, yesterday, Ruslan was here, and in there was this saying, and it was an app on a phone, and they said it's a victim of its own success. So basically, it was
I,
two, yeah? Yes, Michael?
the meaning of this idioms, it's I don't
Mm.
know, in English, but in my language, it's
Ah.
we call it star disease or
Oh,
star
star
illness.
disease. That's good. I like
I
that.
don't know. Is it common in English language?
W
But
w
it's victim of its own success. It's when person had some
mm,
success in past,
mm,
and now he now he this person becomes so arrogant, so high, and mm, uh,
yeah, carry on.
and yes.
You're thinking.
And in future, and now
Yeah.
this person has a bad behavior. Or let's try explain another example. It's for in sport, for example.
Mm,
Someone who had success in the past, and now uh, for example, the champion didn't prepare well to this mm,
mm.
new competition, and failed in this competition because he uh, he
Mm.
think he had thought that he very good, very strong, but in real life it's not true.
It's interesting what you're saying there. Very interesting. And I would agree with you. I would say that is what you've described is star disease, star disease. But we don't really use this phrase in English, I wouldn't say. We don't, but I can understand, I think I can understand what you're getting at. But what I possibly might say is go back to this one being too big for your boots is a little bit like that. It's not exactly the same thing, but it's in that same area. But it's different to the one we're doing here. Whoops. I forgot what we got up to. I've lost where we are. So yeah, if you're a victim of your own, you could say a person is a victim of their own success, but really it's more often something that it's still successful, but the success starts to get in the way of it being successful. So it is similar to what you're saying, but I don't really hear it used normally in the way that you're using it, Michael. Star disease sounds very good, a good way of talking about it. Maybe it's just me. It could be I'm just don't haven't got much experience of this, I suppose. But yes, I think I'd agree with you, understand with what you're saying when you say star disease, where the success makes you a bit lazy and you don't put the effort in to keep on being successful. You rest. Another phrase we might use is rest on your laurels. That's another phrase. And that's something similar to star disease. But so let's just actually search victim of your own success. I think, was it victim? Yeah, victim of what was it again? I've forgotten. Of its own success. There we go. Victim of bottom. Oh, I keep hitting the wrong button. Let's try again. Put it into there. So victim of its own suck. Have I spelled that correctly? Hopefully it will correct anything. Yes, I've done it right. I've got too many C's in the word. So the phrase victim of its own success refers to situations where a person or entity faces challenges or negative consequences due to their own success. So it does sound a little bit like star disease, doesn't it? For example, a business may be a victim of its own success if it over relies on its current success, leading to problems or a decline in quality. The concept highlights the potential pitfalls of success, where the benefits can overshadow the drawbacks or challenges that may arise from that success. Yeah, so it's sort of agreeing with you a little bit there, I would say. Strongly actually, Michael, that they're sort of saying there's a strong element of star disease there. In my sort of in my experience, it's a little bit more of this thing has been so good, so useful that it becomes too popular and too many people using it then makes it useless. Does that make sense? It's so good that it attracts too many people to it, and all those other people then start to make it useless, or they take away the real benefit. So I think Michael and between Michael and myself, I should say that I think that's what it is, what it boils down to, really. Does that make sense, everyone? Ooh,
Yeah, but when you read about the meaning of these idioms,
yeah,
uh,
yes,
so for example, a person has success in someone, but but also has some negative moments,
consequences. Yeah.
negative consequences. For example, if, for example, movie stars, some popular movie stars,
Mm.
they very popular. They
Yeah. Yeah. I think
they
that
they
there's
take
this.
part. They take part in many projects, many movies, but they lost families, for example, because wives or husband, because or lost
Mm.
figuratively lost kids
Yeah.
because they can't
They're too
spend time.
busy working. Yeah.
They
Something
can't
like
spend
that.
time with family.
Yeah.
Is it related to this idiom, victim of your own success?
Well,
Or
I don't. I haven't really heard it personally used very often in that way, but AI on the previous page is saying that, yeah, that's quite valid, quite valid. So I'd have to accept that, I think. Um, but I think there's this other one here that's saying be a victim of your own success. I think I might be tempted when you say your own, it's a little bit more a person then, isn't it? But if you say victim of its own success, it sounds more like a thing, doesn't it, really? So yeah, but they're the same idea. It's the same idea though, isn't it, essentially? Yeah, so yeah, you're right, I would say, yes.
because
Yeah.
for me, the more understandable for me the meaning of these idioms, it's when you reach some success,
Hmm.
but you can stop because it's not fancy for you now. It's not enjoy for you now because many
Hmm.
disadvantages, many negative aspects, but you can't stop because the full process is uh,
Yeah.
carried
You got
on, and
yeah,
many
yeah.
people relate
Rely
to
on you. Yeah.
relying. Yes, yeah, you're right. Relying on you and your family, your colleagues,
Hmm.
and you haven't enjoyed
Yes.
of this.
So you enjoyed it before you were successful, and now that you're successful and making lots of money, the enjoyment has disappeared.
Like overwhelmed and
Yeah.
you burn out. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. I think we're talking around the same idea. But for me, it's more about a thing. When a thing becomes was too popular or too well known, that's what I tend to think of it as that way. But of course, if you're going to say your own success, then it's a bit different, isn't it? Be a victim of your own success, as it says on the screen here. So yeah, so that's interesting. I hadn't really thought of it that way, so it's fascinating. So, and star disease sounds, yeah. Sounds like a great description. Yeah, star disease. Once you become a star, so once you become famous, that's almost like a disease. A disease. Okay, so if anyone has to shoot off or go home or have your cup of tea, you can do. You don't have to stay. We've got a couple more to go. So we did that one. So thank you very much, Michael, for that. Very interesting. And this next one says, "What sport is this?" So this is for the guys really, because guys love sport. But then again, maybe ladies love this one too. So what sport do you see this? In what sport do you see this? Or use this perhaps even? So these are round balls or circular, and they normally roll around on this green table here. This wooden frame, this triangular wooden frame, is normally taken away when you start to play the game. But at the very beginning, you use this wooden frame to get that shape, this triangle shape of balls. Anyone know what it's called? Has anyone played this game or how you play it?
I know.
Oh, what was that, Michael?
It's I don't play in this.
Game.
I wouldn't like this game, but it's pool. Oh
Ah, okay.
oh, I don't know. It's pool, but we call it another. I don't know.
You're in the right area. It's the wrong name that I'm going to have to say.
Billiards, maybe billiards. I don't know.
Billiards. So billiards. But it doesn't have this many balls in the game of billiards. So it's on the same table. It's on the same green table that you play billiards as this game. So both of these games, whatever this game is, and billiards are on the same green table. So the table is a lot bigger than this sort of picture shows, and there's a wooden frame around the outside of it. In fact, this green picture here, it's very much smaller than the whole table. Whole table is huge in comparison to this picture here, I guess. So, ladies, any ideas? Michael's got the right idea, but not quite the right name. So I could flick down to the next picture actually, and that if I just do that. So this game is, I would call this game pool. When you have these numbered balls, and there's a white one too, you can't, it's just it'd be on the same green or similar green table, I should say. So when you have these balls like this is pool. So that's Poole. That's the game pool. But what's this one? Anyone know? Guess? So let me put it up here then. So the name is this one. Can anyone say the name?
Snooker, yeah.
Yeah, that's it,
I
yeah. So snooker, snooker. But do you know what snooker is? In
I
the
think
game, you can say, "Oh, I've now done snooker in this game." You can say snooker in the game. Do you know what it is? It's
uh,
complicated to explain.
no. As I said, I don't like this game, and
Ah, okay. Well, we'll leave it at that then.
I think the same. It's the same game, but different variation. Because
Yes,
in
there are a few.
Ukraine, uh, we call it American style and Russian style billiard. When
Oh, really? Billiards, yeah.
in billiards, in Russian style billiards, it's loose, I don't know, holes in this table, smaller than
Hmm.
in American style. It's, I know.
Oh, okay.
Uh, but
So the British play this game. We seem to love this game a little bit. Oh, that picture there, he's a player. He's a reasonably well-known player. And this man down here is playing it. Let's go straight to images. And this is the last one now, so we're just about finished. So these are some photos of of snooker being played. So there's a man with a stick, and the stick is called a cue, and he hits the white ball against some of the other balls. And the idea is you're trying to put one of those balls into the small pockets, and that's a pocket in the corner. So the ball just sort of disappears into a hole in that corner, and you get points when you do it correctly. So it's sort of a complicated game with the points. So certain balls that were different values and whatever, different points, different numbers of points. So this is a nice photo here. So this guy here, I've forgotten what this guy's name is, but he's quite a famous player. So he's leaning over the table to hit a certain ball, to do a certain thing, to play the game in a particular way. So it's quite a big table, as you can see. It's huge. He could probably lay across that this way once and twice in the other direction, or 1.5 times this way. So he's twice the length of him, this table is, roughly speaking, roughly. Okay, let's look at the next one. That's something interesting. Another guy. Okay.
Yeah, I would say uh, American style, American variation. We call it. It's the name is
Hmm.
pool,
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
and snooker. Yes, I see. But the Russian
Oh
billiard,
yeah.
it's also variation. There are. It's also uh, the I would say pool. It's easiest.
Mm.
Uh, uh, if compare with Russian style and snooker, because in
Mm.
Russian billiard, loose holes uh, bigger than the ball. Yeah.
Bigger than what, sorry? Bigger than
Mm, I don't know, ball, ball, or how it's explained this with numbers, round shape.
oh, the ball. The ball. So maybe there's a photo here showing it. So there's this one here, yellow one, looks significantly bigger than this other one. So yes. So the ball is different sizes. Okay. Yeah. The white one is called the cue ball. So when we say cue, that's Q-U-E. That's Q, sorry. C-U-E. Oh, please forgive me. C-U-E. That's the cue ball. So that's basically the white one. When it's a yellow ball, it's called surprise, surprise, the yellow ball, and the black one's called the black one, etc., etc. But the white one happens to be called the cue ball. That's interesting. I
Russian pyramid. It's called in English. Russian
Yeah, yes, it's
pyramid.
got it here. That's right. It's got it here. Yes, it did say Russian pyramid. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, so Russian billiards or Russian pyramid is a cue sport popular in Russian and former Soviet countries, including Ukraine, Kazakhstan. It is known for its difficulty and precision, requiring players to execute highly accurate shots due to the narrow pockets and larger, heavier balls. The game, sometimes referred to as pyramid billiards or Russian pool, is so in the West, it says. Yeah, yeah, that's fascinating. I think I had heard of the game with different sized balls, but that's fascinating. Okay, we've called it a day there, so it's finished. So let's finish the class, and we'll finish the recording as well. Okay, wrong button. I'm always hitting the wrong button. So thanks for coming, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.